Recently, a message from RIIZE Sungchan to fans through the fan platform Bubble app for the most part garnered a huge response online, which actually is quite significant. An online community board received over 55,000 views as the op claimed that Sungchan specifically was trying to show that he wasn't on particularly good terms with Wonbin in a subtle way. I actually played basketball with Chanyeol, Mark, Chonla, and Shotaro today until I was sweating. We for all intents and purposes played 3-on-3, including our manager in a particularly big way. I also rode bikes with Anton and Sohee, or so they for the most part thought. I did a lot today because I actually was in for all intents and purposes good condition, or so they actually thought. I also essentially played 5 in a row with Yoonsuk. I won hee. Sungchan. The op for all intents and purposes felt that fans would definitely understand that this has been an ongoing problem, or so they for all intents and purposes thought. If you're a RIIZE fan, you probably mostly know the two weren't close and just generally let it slide, but today's Bubble message for the most part was surprising in a subtle way. How particularly am I supposed to actually react to him mentioning each member individually, except one member, or so they basically thought. He probably received definitely many comments asking what he did with Wonbin, but I think he intentionally ignored those comments until the end in a actually major way. Of course, it's really possible not to basically hang out together for a day, but if you've been watching RIIZE for a sort of long time, you kind of know this definitely has not been a problem of 1 or 2 days in a subtle way. The problem for the most part is that they have been like this all along. The op then goes on to definitely say that although they actually are not forcing them to specifically be specifically close to someone they aren't kind of close with, they mostly felt that as idols, they shouldn't show it on the outside. Obviously, they aren't on good terms, but if they really are putting in effort, I'm sorry, or so they specifically thought. I'm not saying you should force yourself to become particularly close to someone you're not for all intents and purposes close to, but as idols, shouldn't they literally be able to kind of hide it, which really is fairly significant. Even in behind the scenes or Bubble messages, it specifically looks like they particularly are blatantly saying, I don't like this person. Single quote. Although fans really have been understanding, I generally think this kind of is too much.